I've been in this situation a couple of times, and I hear people talk about this. Like my guy friends talk about this. They've been with women that wouldn't have sex with them because the women claim they like the guy too much, and that would deter him from wanting a relationship with her. Bullshit or fact?
Bullshit.
Talk to me.
It's facts in the fact that a guy who is disingenuous will have sex with you because he wasn't really having sex with you. He was just masturbating his ego in the first place. And so he was just trying to put numbers up. And because he was putting numbers up, once he gets the sex, but is that a guy you want to be with? Do you want to be with a disingenuous guy in the first place? No. So if you had a nice time and the sex was good, or if it wasn't, you gave it a shot, and this person is showing you who he is. He's a disingenuous dude. So if he don't call and you like him, here's the thing that I don't understand that people in general, men, women alike, the only thing that your feelings prove is that you feel that way. It don't mean anything else but that. So if you got a guy and you have sex with him and then he never calls again, that was his intention in the first place. Why would you want to be with a guy who doesn't understand what your value is in the first place? Right, yes.
They
but
like that rejection. They hate being rejected. They have because it takes their value away.
But here's the thing. Rejection. So I know what my value is as a man, as a provider, as a human being. All right, here's even better. I don't know if you ever seen Antique Roadshow. You ever seen Antique Roadshow? No. All right, so Antique Roadshow is a show where a dude finds a Tiffany lamp in the basement. He goes to these people, they assess it, and then it's worth $10,000.
Like Storage Wars.
Yeah, sort of, but this is where they go actually to the experts and they go, what is this worth, right? And so you'll have a bowl or a Tiffany lamp or a statue and you take it. Now here's the thing. I would ask guys all the time, guys that I counsel, you find a Tiffany lamp, it's worth $10,000. What was the Tiffany lamp worth when it was in the garbage? Most guys go, nothing. It was in the garbage. And then I ask them, if you found 10 G's in a brown paper bag, right, in the garbage, what was the 10 G's worth when it was in the garbage? Everybody goes 10 G's. Exactly. So just because somebody's not smart enough to know what your value is, doesn't lessen your value. And when you understand what your value is, the fact that she's too dumb or he's too dumb to know what your value is doesn't change your value. See, we're allowing people to define us by what their standards are. If you got a dope fiend, a heroin addict, and he brings you a Fabergé egg, and the Fabergé egg is worth $1.3 million, and he sells it to you for $100, just because this crackhead doesn't know what a Fabergé egg is worth, doesn't lessen the value. You just got a deal. And if you have a woman who's dope and who's well put together and she's concerned and she's empathetic and she's sensitive to your feelings and she's anticipating your needs, and then you're not smart enough to know that she's a good woman, right? All this guy's gonna do is waste your time if you're a good woman, and he's the one that's gonna miss out in the end. Because he's too trifling to know, and maybe that's all he wants. He wants to hit it and quit it, and he's going to live his life that way, but he's not going to have real connection and real feelings and real things, meaningful things in their life, meaningful interactions. So you don't lose because you walk away. You don't lose because if you think that this guy is good enough to sleep with, then sleep with him. But that doesn't matter. You thought that it was. You got to kiss a lot of frogs to get a prince sometimes. You got to kiss some at least.
Some been kissing frogs into their 60s, man.
Yeah, but that also has to do with who they are and what their value is in the first place. Are those people that have been kissing frogs since they were 60, are they still the people who have done like I'm saying to do as a man, and they looking at themselves and seeing what their inadequacies are and what their value is? Probably not.
Some are. Okay, so you know New York, you know you have the professional woman that's all about her career up until like 35, 40, and then she wants to get with a guy, never does. She turns 45, 50, starts doing yoga. She's out dating 23, 24, 25-year-old guys.
Right.
That's a person who's constantly working, a female that's constantly working to improve herself, but not finding that meaningful connection. What's missing?
Well, I think what happens is I don't think you can do one and not do the other. Like, you shouldn't be pursuing your career and not pursuing your emotional fulfillment as well. So, what I say is we live in a three-dimensional world, right? Length, width, and depth, right? But that three-dimensional in human beings meaning intellectual, emotional, and physical. Right? Nobody exists without those three dimensions. So if a woman meets a guy who's great in bed and he's good looking, right? But he's dumb, she'll hit it until she don't want to hit it, and then it'll be to a point where he's so dumb when he goes, man, I didn't know you made pickles with cucumbers. This is not a dude that you're going to keep. Eventually, you go, I can't do this, right? To the same token, if you got a guy who's emotionally and intimately present, right? But the sex ain't good, right? It's only going to be a matter of time till she steps out. If you have a guy who is emotionally, intellectually, or any two, we decide what our range is, but all things have to be present. You got to have at least decent sex. You got to have at least an intimate connection, emotionally connected, and you don't want somebody who's dumb. Now, if you dumb, what you think is dumb may not be, that's
dumb on the curve.
Right, exactly. It's dumb curve. But the point is, if somebody doesn't meet your non-negotiables, your minimum, it ain't gonna work. So sleeping with somebody and then thinking by withholding sex from them that you're gonna keep, you're not. And even if you do, that doesn't mean it's gonna work out. We go through life. Life is the journey, and we want to get. It's not to get to the finish line. It's to experience the journey. I used to say love is like music. Just because the song is gonna end doesn't mean we don't listen to the song. We have to listen to the whole song and experience it while the song is playing, and everything is important. The notes, the timing, and the lack of notes, the space between the notes. That's what makes music. And if that's not the case, then the fastest musicians would be the best musicians. But that's not what it is. The best musicians are the musicians that travel through the song in the most creative way. So it's about the journey, it's about the experiences, it's about the snapshots it's about creating snapshots that we can look back on and enjoy and say that I lived a quality life. And sometimes the song comes to an end. But if we're honest and authentic about it, we go, well, we just don't fit anymore. Then it's not my fault, and it's not your fault. We just don't fit anymore. It's time to move on. But if we really work to be in sync and to anticipate each need, the song never has to end. But you don't not play the song because it's going to come to an end. So I'ma hold this back to trap him inauthentic. It lacks credibility. So you really want to sleep with him, but you don't. And then you do with a strategy. If you're dope, just be dope. People will come to you. You'll meet people. If you're not dope, if people are not coming to you, it's probably because you're not dope.
Just that simple.
It's just that simple. Because everybody wants to be with somebody dope.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, we all have limitations. Somebody might not like a short dude, but let's be honest. You like tall dudes, and you got a dude that's intellectually sound, intimately into you, and anticipates your need, and he knows how to make love to you. You're not gonna mess with this dude because he's 5'5"? Really?
People are flexible if other criteria is met.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Usually
And
6 out of 10.
right. And exactly. But if you're being the best version of yourself, first of all, you can put it on the line and say, yo, this is who I am. And you can be honest and authentic about it and have the credibility of it. If she goes, yeah, I'm not into it, you go, cool. Good luck.
How does a guy protect his ego from that rejection, though? Because when you say, hey, this is who I am, and someone rejects it.
I'd say this all the time.
You know what I mean?
When we go to a pizza shop, the Chinese restaurant don't get mad. They just wait till you come to the Chinese restaurant. So just because I'm not her cup of tea, nobody's everybody's cup of tea. Mm-hmm. But if you putting yourself out there, you're going to get some takers. If you're the best version of yourself, I don't care who you are, if you're the best version of yourself, you're going to get some takers. You can't assume that. It's like when dudes go, you know, a guy will meet a girl and she dresses sexy, and then when he's with her, he be like, yo, you got to tone that down. This is who I was. Mm-hmm. You know, now you're in insecurity. You want me to change who I am. So you like who I am, but you want to be. You like who I am, but you want me to be just who I am for you and not be who I am outside of you. It's selfish. So if I'm a social dude, now we're not talking about the parameters of if I'm a social dude. Look, I'm a social dude in general, and then I talk to women or I talk to you. You have to at least feel that my respect for you and that your value is enough to keep me coming back, to keep me to cherish and make this important. That what I have with you is important enough to protect. And if it's not, I won't. And sometimes I'm too dumb to know, or the guy could be too dumb to know what he got. And then how does that end up? So then I mess up, I walk away, now you crying, trying to get back. And she's already moved on because she's dope. And some other dude was already waiting. Some other dude noticed she was dope. And now she's already got a guy who's being who she wants him to be. Just don't make it's easy. It's so much simpler than we make it.
Yeah.
But because we don't feel as though we have our value, our personal value, we complicate it. Just tell the truth.
It's about destroying the ego.
And the ego, you know, it's funny you say ego, is because even the ego wants you to go, you don't know who I am? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if I asked you who you are, then I don't know who you are. I've bounced in clubs all the time, and I've always had dudes who were has-beens come up to the club. You don't know who I am? No, that's why I asked you. Tell me who you are, and maybe I'll let you in. But your ego wants to be offended. How dare you? Come on, dog. Remove the ego, because that ego is emotion. That emotion clouds your judgment. That clouding of your judgment makes you make the wrong decisions. You gotta remove the ego. It's not an easy thing to do. You gotta practice. Because the intention is to let that ego control you. I mean, how many dudes do we know that got 2 beans in the cabbage because his ego was too big, messing with the wrong, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You end up leaking.
Bunches.
Right. Because you got to prove something to you that you don't even really believe in the first place. You know, if you're here's the thing, you know, we didn't get into this, but I was a male stripper for 10 years.
Well, we get into it now.
Right? And there was a fan of mine who was 718 pounds, big woman, right?
Ooh, Lord.
718.
Wait,
yeah.
So wait, hold on. Rewind, flip it. 718. So did you have to go to her?
No. She was mobile.
She could leave the house.
Yeah, she was mobile.
Wow.
Right, 718 pounds. And at the end of my career, when I started putting on weight, she was like, "You getting fat." I didn't even comment on I'm getting fat, because I'm told I'm getting fat from a 718 pound woman.
Right.
Who clearly doesn't know who she is. She clearly is not looking, and the arrogance to even say that. And don't get me wrong, I was getting fat. Right. But that's not the point. You can't tell me that. Right. But the fact that she could tell you that is insane. We find this all the time. The worst thing in the world is like when you watch boxing or you watch MMA and the guy knows he got your number.
Yeah.
You can talk all the junk you want. I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a this. We just seen that with Conor McGregor.
Yep.
Right?
The business.
And
the boxing ring and in the octagon.
And when he won, when he was messing with who's the kid that he just fought in the MMA?
The Russian kid.
The Russian kid. Yeah. He talked about the dude's mother, and you could see Islam, and when you could see him trying to like, oh, it was just promotion. You gonna get it. You gonna get all of this work because you're disrespectful.
Yeah.
And so this is for real. We're not joking. I have the integrity of it. You see that with them Brazilian killers. We do like, you know what I mean? You see dudes who like, I'm gonna kill him, I'm gonna this, he don't know that, I'm gonna take him down. And you get the Brazilian dude, thanks very much for the give you good fight. I like the fans. I want to make money for my family. That's the dude.
Calm.
Why? Because he's ready.
Calm.
He's ready. That, you know, the preparedness is what gives you the calm. And if you guys want to listen to my podcast is called Man School 202. You can go to manschool202.com or just go to dantenero.com and click on podcast. You can get it there. You can also get it on iTunes. It's called Man School 202. I have everybody on it, men, women, trans, everything in between. Also, just go to dantenero.com and check out my podcast. If you need a one-on-one consultation, same thing, dantenero.com, click on consult, and I'll straighten you out.